shocked if they don't know you. Graham got divorced? Not just once.
Yes, multiple times.
Multiple times.
Yes.
Tell me about the driving home and seeing Dad and thinking, I don't know if my father's even going to love me. I don't know if how he's going to treat me on this.
Well, I divorced my first husband for years of infidelity, and I knew that was, I was the first one to get a divorce in my family, so that was not good. And he had been a friend of the family. His parents were friends of the family, so that made it very complicated. And I felt like a circle had been drawn, and I was on the outside of the circle. Did
the family know? Because I know you guys went through therapy for a long time, but did the family all know this was going on?
No, I kept it secret. And in my mind, I thought, oh, they'll be so proud of me when they learn what I've been enduring. That was not a good idea. But because they were not proud of me when they knew what I was enduring. They
were like, why didn't you get out?
No, they were like, why can't you stay? Why can't you deal with this? Why can't you forgive him and just go on? You see, Glenn, in our church, adultery is forgivable, divorce is not. At least it wasn't back then.
That is not right.
No, it wasn't right. It wasn't right. But the enormous amounts of pressure. And so I moved to get away from where we were and moved to a downtown city in the South, which I'd come from a rural area. It was not a good move. I was a fish out of water, and I wanted somebody to take care of me. So immediately they introduced me to a widower, and I fell in love, and within 24 hours I knew I'd made a mistake. And I thought, what am I going to do? And it got so bad that he was threatening violence, and I thought, I'm not going to stick around. So I got in the car and realized I had to go home. But Mother and Daddy had told me not to marry this man. Mother had called from Seattle and said, don't marry him, slow it down. Daddy called me from Tokyo and said, honey, why don't you wait? I figured, they hadn't been single parents. They didn't know what it was like. So being willful, being stubborn, being sinful, I made my own choice. And I married this man on a New Year's Eve and realized that it was bad. After 5 weeks, I fled. And I thought, I've got to go home. I've got to tell Mother and Daddy what's going on. And it was a 2-day drive. And fears multiplied with every mile.
I bet
questions. What am I going to say to them? What are they going to say to me? What about my children? What kind of example had I been to my children?
Were you worried at all, too? I mean, I would imagine. What is this going to do for my dad? His daughter?
That had to be part of the questioning, but at that point I was more concerned about my children.
Good for you.
And my parents. They were not young.
Yeah.
So I drove up, and you've been up to the house, and you know how you wind up at the top, and you pull to where you park, and my father was standing there. And when I got out of the car, he wrapped his arms around me and he said, welcome home.
Oh my God.
And there was never any condemnation. And Glenn, that changed my life. That grace changed my life, and it informs what I do today, because I want other people to experience the grace of God like my father gave to me.